I hope you still hear me, because I think I was pretty echoing everywhere. So hello everyone for the English live stream. And I believe on the Rumble as well that I'm live. I hope so. Right. Yeah. Hey Anja, hello Dynamite, welcome here. So I just let go, like always. Oh, my hair. So welcome everyone. And it is, I know it's still for a lot of people, of course, a broken week with 4th and 5th of May in the Netherlands. It is important days and often people have day off. And so hello everyone. The music is a bit too loud. Well, the music is stopped now, so thanks for the feedback. Okay, so it has stopped now, and I'm checking now as well Rumble. Oh, why can't I see Rumble now? Am I live? I guess so. Yes. Hello everyone, and I'm also now checking if I can put the Rumble chat visible to everyone on screen. So I'm now arranging that. So one moment please. Rumble chat. Rumble, I described it as rubble. That's interesting. While I love Rumble, yeah. Hello, dear people on Rumble, welcome on this talk about MKultra. And I'm pretty nervous. Not nervous to go live, but more nervous to talk about the subject, what I decided to talk about, and it is the satanic rituals I was in, especially since, oh wait, one moment, and then I'm there fully with my attention. All right, and the bottom is, okay. Hello, Rick the Daddy. Rick, I will call you Rick. I see no other Rick. Thank you. Thank you for the compliment. And it is in English spoken, so, but it is totally fine, Dutch in the chats. So here I have the Rumble chats as well. Ta-da! Ti-di-di-di-di-di. No, don't feel sorry for just Dutch writing is okay. Hello, Yvonne Groot, welcome. So, now you can see the chat as well there. Okay. Oh, wait. No, now I'm doing it wrong. Wait, no, I'm doing something wrong here. Okay, I apologize for all the things I'm managing. And now I have to do things differently because everything is going different. Rumble chat. Now all right. I thought I make the Rumble chat visible and now... Ah, man. Okay. So I don't know what's wrong, but... All right. I don't know what's happening. I let go. Hello, everyone. Well, that's the most important thing, Rick the Daddy, to speak English. And for the other people who are from abroad, and I know some friends are from the USA especially, and they watch my live streams, and I know of people who rewatch it later on, and they requested me, please continue with your English live stream. So they rewatch it later on. So, and I'm in this way also, of course, training. We'll put this here. So I'm a bit, as you see, I'm experimenting again with the background, and I like it this time very much. No weird flickering and so on. And the chat is not working. What I see on Rumble, it's working very strange. Oh man, reset. Okay, reset, close. Wait. I'll be there in a moment. I'll be there. Just one moment. I should not panic. I should not freak out. But I prepared it all and I want it to work now, so... Okay. Oh man. Wait. 9, 10. Well, it's the best I can do. This is the Rumble chat I am now showing. And I wish there was an easier way, but apparently... Okay, this should be better. Okay, top 200. Top 250. Okay. Hello everyone. Hello Sputniki, Rita, welcome. I will pour in my tea. Yeah, it's for me special, also special what I decided on to talk more extendedly about specifically the satanic ritual. So on forehand, I have to warn for the people who are vulnerable to, I will avoid graphical details, but it is possible. I cannot avoid some graphic details. And so I apologize on forehand for that. And yeah, that you know that. And of course, you never have to watch these if you don't like that, but it's about, it might be some graphic details. Ah, Rick the Daddy, I think I saw you earlier. Where it's about, it is about MKultra, so full mind control. And I have here the, I think it is here. Oh, that's my bio, wait. I think it's this one. So here you have in Dutch, on Wikipedia you can find about MKultra. And I'm not now going to explain extendedly what is MKultra, but I'm talking now for more than a year, because also many people on Rumble are new, I guess, with my stories and with my live streams. So it is about full mind control. So shortly said, my brains, my personality was already split up in two when I was a tiny baby. And then the traumas need to be put every day up in my body and with electrodes, electroshocks, all kinds of traumas which are unimaginable unimaginable to many people, but they are horrific. And in this way they could split up my personality in so many split up personalities. And that's actually being used also for black ops and for satanic rituals. And I will this evening, I will talk about these satanic rituals overall. So Hello, not good Wes. Welcome. You're new here. Welcome as well here. So it's about MKultra, and well, first I always talk about, and it is sad that Facebook is not running. So there is something apparently wrong with Facebook that it doesn't allow me to go live, and maybe it is Rumble. And I forgot to mention that also on Twitter I'm live. So welcome everyone on Twitter. So what I'm going to talk about tonight is as always, I will give an update on my MKultra deprogramming and healing. So all right. So again, it will be in English, full in English spoken, and as I said, Dutch, German is even okay, fine, but I prefer, of course, the English language. So first, I like to talk about to get you updated about my deprogramming. As I said already, since the beginning of January, that meeting love and the love of my life has everything turbulent in me and around me and in my life. It's like a roller coaster. But that caused that a lot of what I call my core, for the people who are new here, my core is actually, wezenkern, it's who you are, who I am. So it's the source of who I am. And with everyone, the source is on top of the crown. And above this crown, this core is always a cosmical sun, and this cosmical sun is literally what shines on everyone and is connected to the history of your life, and I believe in past lives, and that is of course not for everyone's cup of tea. And I have to pour my cup of tea in a minute, but I know that is reincarnation and the past lives, and that as being we live and continue on. And another word for simple said core is the soul, and which has the information of who you are. Just has all the information who I am. So I will talk again also from my own experience, and that this core, since that has been liberated, that I also met someone, a man, and he entered my heart and my soul and my being, everything. And it's the love apparently, which is incredible, inspiring me to continue my deprogramming, which caused also even come up deeper layers. And today I met another layer in me, and this layer was actually yesterday coming forward, coming to the surface, and again by the love. So it is amazing what is happening as well. It is a roller coaster in my life at the moment, but it is amazing at the same time. So what happened with all personality layers which has come forward since releasing my own and freeing my own love, and because I let enter also the love of a man. And that is amazing what has happened now again, because now a deeper layer has come forward, and this deeper layer is I saw yesterday when I did a session while I was walking down the street. Well, here in my environment, I was doing my walk, and the dear friend who has given me the space here in her residence to let me deprogramming for years now. And she was guiding me in this, and we were just walking. And I'm very experienced by now in deprogramming myself and guiding also in inner personality in me. So for me, I'm so experienced. For me, it's no hard big deal to do that while walking. And it's not for everyone, because if you're new to deprogramming, then I would certainly not advise to do that, but I'm pretty experienced now. So, hello Clowns Planet and Delvertje, welcome. Hi. And I have to check, by the way, I have my English YouTube channel, and I hope I am live now there as well. And I don't think so, because I don't see anyone watching. Yeah, I'm live there. It worked. So that's great news. So I'm also on my English page of YouTube, and that's called Monique Wallace too. So for the ones who want only full English uploads, you can subscribe there. So if you like, it's I know it's a lot. Got it. So I'm live. Oh, that makes me so happy. Also on YouTube, on my second YouTube. All right, enough with the technical stuff. So I will continue my story. So what I discovered now since yesterday, while I was walking with my dear friend here in the house and walking by the water and through a park, and then I was walking separately in that personality which came to the surface, and that personality appeared to be a giant baby. And now I can imagine that you think, like, how can a baby even be aware of in the here and now? Well, it is possible. With MKultra, it is about that baby, and specifically toddler parts, are being so heavily traumatized that these baby and toddler parts, that they continue to live inside my personality, and then like a babushka puppet, that inside this baby part, that there grows a grown-up personality. So, but the basic is still that baby part, and I hope I can explain it a bit well enough for you people there. And the majority here know me by now in my talks, and what I mean with personality parts and baby parts. Hello, Khalid. Welcome here. Yes, thank you for joining. And yeah, prayers, of course. I wish well to everyone. All right, I will now not read the chat, because there's a lot going on there, and I have to focus on my story. So this giant baby, you literally have to, how do I visualize, or how do I see these personalities? It is with MKultra that all the senses are being extremely traumatized, but also enhanced. So my visual, my inner, you can call it the third eye, the glands in my head are so overstimulated that I am already clairvoyant, but that is being so stimulated that I can see everything with imaging. For the majority of MKultras who had the full mind control like I had, they have an enhanced ability, and in me it was my clairvoyancy and my visual aspects, and a lot more my psychic abilities and so on. And I did see a little the chat come by, like I know that that it drops on you all this information, because I did already so many live streams. But for a really good to get to know me, I would say go to on my other channels, YouTube and Rumble, and I've got Twitch. You can see there all my live streams, all my previous live streams. So well, thank you for checking the content. That is great, because then you get updated on who I am and why some terms are, while some terms are maybe unknown to you, but then you get to know more about the details. So I will continue my story. So this giant baby, how did that came across when I was walking there with my dear friend and doing this session while walking? that this giant baby looked very pale and was like a wax doll almost. So she was sitting like you know maybe these giant baby dolls, of which they look almost like porcelain. And so if you have like a little child and she gets a big baby doll, then a bit you have to imagine it like that. But this baby doll was I as baby, and that was frozen in time, and she could not feel anything. So it was total non-feeling. And when I bump into total non-feeling, then that is for me already the sign that something is going on innerly and that I have to inner process that. So with MKultra, it is that basics are that there are basic splits who were baby parts and they were traumatized, as I said at the beginning, and they stand still, and that's what I mean with frozen. So they are then in the source, in the core, of put in a kind of babushka puppet, and that babushka puppet is like a puppet inside a puppet, inside a puppet, inside a puppet. And then I met, so this, the core of this babushka puppet, so the tiniest babushka puppet in that babushka doll, and that was that baby part. And then it was so beautiful because I talked about that since I learned to love myself, which was an important step end of 2022 and in the beginning of 2023, which continued, and then meeting the love, and that called up this baby part. But it was at the same time, I'm so grateful for that, because this is why this baby part came forward. And she, in the conversation innerly and with my dear friend, I got the information that this baby doll part, that she lost feeling. And this is then a graphic, some graphic content, like there is always a basic trauma behind why specifically a toddler or a baby part has stood still in time, like in my personality with this baby part I met. And this was an extreme, it is graphic, but it is and it was connected to as well and triggered because of the subject for tonight, which is satanic rituals. And these satanic rituals were connected to it. But I will come after the summary of my deprogramming. So this baby part then was growing up while she was walking next to me. And when she was talking about her traumas, then finally it came. Like she could not let in any man, any love for a man. She could not do that because I was, and I knew that already, involved in many groups of people, and they were men and women and younger children, both sexes, female and male. And that was a giant group where I was forced into, and that there was a lot of intercourse in between. And I was programmed, and that's my monarch programming also, to have this sexual abuse with this group of people, and everyone was doing it with each other. And it was horrific trauma. And why? Because many of them, and I know this is a hard subject, but I just decided to talk about some of, I try to be integral as possible, but that it's a bit graphic. That, for example, with a whole group who were interacting with each other, I say it now in a bit integral way, like having intercourse, that these tiny children, and I was also pretty young, and then underneath that group who was doing it with each other, and totally in a certain wild, ancient sexual energy. And that is what I had to witness and had to undergo, and I was together with all these other teenage girls and boys. I was underneath that group which was doing it with each other. So my chest got crushed a lot, and I saw around me children being crushed. And when they were crushed and not breathing any longer, then the people were even more aroused. This is what my past was, and not just one time, but many times. And this is the basics for why this baby was frozen and just chose at that moment to separate herself from the body as a teenager when I had to undergo that. And I wasn't crushed underneath these bodies because I have a very strong bone structure. I have a very strong heart, and that is connected to my Mars connection. And I know that sounds science fiction, but I got proven it recently. You see the giant projector screen behind me, and that if that gets loose, that's with a spring. I think it's called spring, which has a very strong tension. Is it called a spring? Yeah, you have these spring mattresses with the coils. And that is a very strong coil, and that is a very heavy projector screen. And last week I was trying it out in a live stream, and then suddenly I did not secure it above it when I had put it up. And then suddenly it got loose, and it was straight on my thumb. And I literally thought, oh man, I have now a broken or a bruised thumb. And that did not happen. It was gone. Within a few hours, I did not have any pain any longer. And, well, people who know these projector screens know how heavy these things are and how tense this spring is. So I have a very strong body, and this is why I survived these types of group meetings. And it is no coincidence that it got triggered as well because of, that I do tonight, these satanic rituals, because that is related to it. So, and it is, no, it is not pre-recorded. I'm fully live. So, yeah, that's a good one, Yvonne. Yeah, for the people, I see the chat come by. Like, if you have questions, it's better to do that approximately 8:45. Approximately, the majority of time I do approximately 8:45. I take a break. So, and again, I am live. Yeah, I'm now live taking my honey, and I'm now live taking my tea. And by the way, also for the people who are new here, I am used to balance the horrific traumas. And I try to avoid heavy graphic details. But for tonight, I cannot avoid some graphic detail. But then I balance it with some humor and laughing. At times, I just have to balance that out. So that you know that. So I will grab my tea. And as well, because like it's a subject which is serious. So I hope everyone in the chat will also. Hey, Miss Vanity, welcome, Miranda. Yeah, I'm reading the chat, but I always do. I got used to it. And that's totally fine, but I just wanted to say, like, also the people in the chat, like, if it's respectful to each other, that's totally fine. But this is a serious subject, so that's all I like to express. This is not a funny subject. Hey, Flexibel, welcome as well. And that rhymes. Okay, so I will now continue my talk. And so this is now the update about this new baby part, which has now transformed and is integrating now. And today I talked again with this baby part, which is now growing up. And yeah, she is actually part of growing up and a grown up. So, but she appeared that she was so frozen in time that she thought she was a baby. So yeah, it's hard maybe to explain for the people who are new here. But again, I really want to suggest to you all, if it's unclear, go to my earlier live stream videos. I have a lot. I have almost 200 on my channels. So wow, I have follower goal has been. I am on 230 followers. Wow, on Twitch. That's so great. Thank you for following. Hello, Zwitsermeid. Well, I introduced myself already in the beginning, and I'm a former deep state MKultra, so I already explained a bit what is MKultra, so I will continue my story. And it is a serious subject. I'm going to talk about satanic rituals, so if you're not up to this heavy stuff, and I sometimes make light-hearted videos as well, live streams. And thanks, Miss Vanity. I was thinking about that too. Like, okay. So, now the subject I wanted to talk about, which is not good, Wes. I'm a Satanist. Well, maybe you can then find out what it is. Anyway, I will now focus on my story, and I again wanted to ask to everyone in the chat, please be respectful, and this is a serious subject. So I will now leave the chat and will now continue talking about the satanic rituals. Like, there are levels in rituals, and I will grab my notes as well. Because this is an extended subject, like the majority of people have maybe an idea with satanic rituals, as sometimes it's being expressed in movies and so on. And then still it is not it's not everything what is going on, because I like to talk about how it has been prepared, how I was prepared for heading for a satanic ritual, and there are several levels of satanic rituals, and there are levels on which people are in these attendees, I should say, attendees in these satanic rituals. And even the numbers who attend a ritual is also extremely important and connected to which level. There you have Freemasonry satanic rituals, which are connected to skull and bones. There are satanic rituals who are pure related to the cross. There are other satanic rituals I was in, and I speak from own experience. So what I experienced, I'm not saying that everyone else has the same experience, it's my own experience, and I did not look anything up from others, from other MKultras or monarchs or satanic ritual abused people. I appreciate it so much, and the bravery that they come forward with these stories, but I never read anything about the details about satanic rituals, because I want to have it not contaminated with my own experience. So these rituals, there are several layers, what I mentioned, and levels of how these meetings were set up. For example, there are satanic rituals which are based on which is a very painful subject for me too. That is about child trafficking, and these are satanic rituals which are children, babies from literally babies to toddlers. And I decided to talk about it because I think it's important that this subject is being talked about. Hey, Barry, yeah, I saw it. Oh, this is great. Thanks so much. Then I can let go. And both of you, Miss Vanity and Barry, they're great moderators and friends. And I'm very grateful that you're here. You both are here. I'm very grateful because it's a very, dear to my heart subject as well. But I know it can attract, of course. Yeah, I know it is, that is the hard thing. Like, it is connected to the subject sexual abuse and heavy stuff. So, and after the break, I will talk more extendedly also about my off-planet experiences with rituals and satanic rituals. There are satanic rituals which are involved with the Vatican. The Vatican is an incredible portal for letting the S energy in and the L energy in. And with S, I will say it only once, the S energy is Satan and the L energy is Lucifer. And there are other beings like I talked of in earlier live streams like Baal or Baal and Moloch. And Moloch is the owl demon, and Baal is they're very evil and extremely dangerous gods. By the way, never ever call out their names. I would say, I know myself. I know how to protect myself, and I also prepared this live stream. That this live stream will also be protected. So. And I have my measures for that, and I know I can do this story tonight. And in the earlier stage of my deprogramming, I would not have managed it, but I know I can. So these levels of satanic rituals. So what I was talking about, the satanic rituals in which are the child trafficking involved. And then, for example, in Europe, I was also involved and having witnessed these child trafficking in 3 center spots in the Netherlands, and they were on the border to Belgium and to Germany. And I knew them as that they were called Kanaal 1, Kanaal 2, and Kanaal 3. And many of these children I saw in literally kennels with wired cages. And then I saw these dog beds, and in which then the children were laid down, and often they wore not anything, and often they were washed, and they smelled, by the way, extremely well, because the majority of them were always washed and bathed to smell like roses. And often the rose smell is very important with a lot of these people who are in liking these children. They are very extremely being influenced by the smell of rose water. This is, by the way, like everything, like roses is beautiful. I love the symbolism of, for example, in a lot of hotels, you see, for example, the bridal suites. And a lot of these bridal suites and honeymoon and etc. have these rose petal rituals, which is connected to the true love. But the other side of it, like everything, has a shadow side and a bright side and a positive side. And these rose petals, and especially the rose smell, the rose water, like I met so many of the abusers who were smelling like roses. And for a long time, even in the front life, I was very closed off when I smelled someone who had a rose smell, or when I smelled, for example, the roses in the garden. And then that triggered me already, before I knew even that I was an MKultra. So these little children were then also being prepared and being sold and trafficked for these satanic rituals. In these type of satanic rituals, a lot of the majority of them were put or on altars or a giant wheel, the wheel, like a wheel of fortune, het rad, a wheel. So this wheel of which these children were bonded, and then it was turned around, and it's about while being turned around, a lot of times the number 7 is important. So they were then turned around 7 times clockwise or 7 times backwards, counterclockwise. And these rituals were mostly induced to create a trance in these children. A lot of children, maybe you remember that from your own childhood, but as a child in my front life, I'm still amazed that I could manage to have some enjoyment in, especially being outside and at the sea, and playing in the dunes and in nature. And then a lot of times that I was twirling, I hope that's the right word, but I was then dancing, like twirling around, so turning around, and then I did that clockwise or counterclockwise, and that was amazing to do because that gives them a feeling of excitement and joy, and it does something with the brains. Well, in the mind control and the monarch programming, they found out that 7 times is specifically inducing a trance, so increasing the trance, and specifically with children and toddlers. So this is why that wheel was used in these kind of rituals. In these rituals, when that wheel was turned, then I saw also that a lot of signs were put around. So many times in the rituals, and I'm still talking about where that wheel was present, and in Europe. I'm talking about in Europe and as well in the Netherlands, as well in Belgium, as well in Germany. And the Netherlands is deeply involved. So I know many say that, but I can acknowledge that because I was there. So then a lot of these wheels were, even when it was in underground theaters or in underground giant locations where were giant rooms to do these rituals, some of them were even Freemasonry cellars, specific designed cellars for the 31st degree and higher up, and they only had entrance to these underground cellars and catacombs of Freemasonry temples. Not every Freemasonry temple has a cellar like that or catacomb, but where I was specifically with these children and these rituals, when I was present there, then there was always a secret password, and it was as well being magically with black magic spells, being protected with a pentagram upside down. Often on the wheel was also portrayed a pentagram symbol. Around the wheel was a lot of times being thrown sand, and this sand was often mixed with ashes. And these ashes were from, for the elite, very important, or they were from black magicians who were part of that Freemason part, or that elite part. It could sometimes be someone royal. From the royalties, for example, there is always at least one boy, when it was born, being taken away from the mother and then being, again, a graphic detail, being put in the fire. And these ashes were then used in these lodges of the Freemasonry, but they were extremely important, these Freemasonry lodges. So then I'm talking about the 33 degree and up. And with these rituals, then that sand was then being thrown around that wheel, and that gave, together with these magic spells, an extreme, heavy, satanic, dark environment and atmosphere. It is I cannot describe it, and I wish no one to be present there, but it enhanced the trance of these children, and with also these 7 times being clockwise and counterclockwise being put on that wheel and being turned, and then as well with the symbolic satanic language being spoken out. Then that trance got even deeper and deeper, and then demons were called up. Often as well the S energy or the L energy. It depended on who was present. Because there are levels in it, and this is why I thought I do tonight an extended live stream on that, because it's not so general. It's really specifically being in leveled satanic rituals. So in these lodges, when it was in these underground catacombs, there was always next to these catacombs are a room in which the leader of he called himself often the seal, and this you can maybe compare it to what was in ancient times called a magistrate. I hope I pronounce it right. And this seal, he was called. Then he had a giant chain around his neck with the pentagram upside down, and he had his specific ring on his finger, and this specific ring was specific for being the seal. And the seal was enhancing the whole energy in the whole setup underneath, like this Freemasonry lodge, the secret space for these incredible, deep and heavy satanic rituals. The catacomb next to it always had a torture room and one room in which the seal would prepare himself. This seal room is literally only the seal, this man, only the leader, only the black magician, that's actually another word for it, could enter that room. What I know of is that in that room he has his own altar, he has there his jewelry, his ritualistic dress, his robe. There was always what the symbolism of death wears, like a sickle. I forgot now again what is the word. What's it called? Well, the death. The death carries the sickle. What's the sickle in English? Sometimes, specifically for the people who are new here, I sometimes forget words in English or the other way around, and that is because I'm hitting a very serious subject. So this is why I don't know. Maybe I can look it up, or maybe I will see it in the chat. The pronunciation, I don't know, and the English word now at the moment. But he has all these attributes there. The room itself has been the walls, and I thought, well, I know it's all graphic and it looks a bit like a horror movie, but the walls of this room of the seal master, that was rubbed in with BLOOD, and it was smeared with that substance, and yeah, that creates, and it has to be refreshed every couple of weeks, months. And this is why, by the way, these satanic rituals have to continue, because and the BLOOD and this seal master needs to be fed by and the black energy, and keeping the portals connected to where the satanic ritual is taking place. And that is extremely important for them to stay in their power. And in this way, they can chant and enhance the people who are present. And they were always invites. So, and I'm talking again about this underground secret, very high leveled. It is a high leveled with these trafficked children now and so on. Well, for the ones who missed it, maybe check out later and rewatch, because my story is so heavy and so intense that I even cannot make a summary. So I hope you understand that. Jos, hey Jos, Sputniki, I said already hi. And Alice, hello Alice, welcome. I said already hello to Delvertje, I believe. And to everyone on Facebook, yeah, I'm only on my personal Facebook live, so Facebook did not go along at all. Twitter, welcome everyone. And Rumble as well. And I don't see anything in the chat that people are writing in the chat. So, and this heavy stuff, that is the most important thing. So, if this trafficking stops, if they cannot do the satanic rituals any longer, then only the impact will stop. This is why they pick out invisible children. So these kennels, kennel 1, 2, and 3 in the border of the Netherlands, and the Netherlands is a heavy used center of that. Of trafficking children and babies. And often in these kennels, they were from unknown moms and often teenage mothers. And I saw them a lot as well in these kennels. And they were in their own cages and they were hooked to chains. By the way, these kennels were often surrounded with kind of aluminum foil and heavy, thick walls. So these kennels were undetectable by detection devices. Maybe now it's more improved, and I hope that, of course, the government or whatever is here, that they start to realize that it is happening here. And well, I'm not judging anything, because I know a lot of the police work hard and they are true, honest people. I believe it's a tiny group who tries to influence the majority of everywhere in society. That's my own opinion. This is, by the way, also for everyone who is new on Rumble and on Twitter, why I don't mention any names. Because it's not safe for me, and I don't think it will bring anything unless this world changes and that the people start to realize this is really happening, and that we join each other, that we join as people and start to really say no to this. But it starts with becoming aware of that it does exist. This is no fantasy. What I experienced, what I explained, and this is only one level of this satanic ritual stuff, of only one level, that it is real, it is happening, and it's not only happening in the Netherlands, it's happening worldwide. So it should stop. That is why I do my story and give you insight in what is happening there. And of course, there is far more extended things what happens with these children. And I still cannot talk about that, what is really happening with these babies and toddlers and young children. But then you have at least one certain level, which I just mentioned. Then there is the level of the satanic rituals with what I experienced with the group of which they told me was the group of 300 plus. And they were all the top levels and the elite, as they call themselves, worldwide. And they were then joining in giant groups. And then, by the way, all 300 had to be present. So if even when one was sick, then he had to be present. So it was so important that these 300 plus were present in these giant rituals. In these rituals where I was, then a giant portal had been opened, and often it was then in connection to the Vatican, of which there is a giant portal there, which they can open whenever they want, because this earth is creation of God, of the Creator. For me, it's God, and maybe some are allergic to the word God, but it's the divine, the Creator, Allah, which is all law. Did not know if you know that, but Allah is all law, and law is a very holy, in my opinion, a very holy, beautiful word. So that this is the earth is a creation of beauty and love. That's another term for it. So that is why these portals cannot be opened so easily. What is because that is why the S and L energy approach children and try to get the souls being taken and try to traumatize humanity on Earth. That they can then seal, get a certain seal inside of humanity more and more, even as group, and with traumatizing whole nations, which is happening already for such a long time. That is going on for so long. It's the majority of you who are here know that how long it has been going on, but that doesn't change that the earth and the inside of the earth is the creation. And this is why the center of the earth is being shown as a giant ball of light, or how you say that, lava, or it's incredible hot lava which is there twisting and turning, which is then creating the gravity. I believe that's the story. I'm not a scientist. I only talk from my own experience and what I've seen. And the center of the earth is not that giant glowing hot lava. I say it very, very simple, because again, I'm not a scientist. It's what I've seen. And I've been in the center of the earth, and it is not what is being shown. And if that is also being accepted by humanity, or a larger, more and more larger group, that the earth is far different from what is being portrayed, then that's also the beginning of that the consciousness grows, and that it is then possible that other off-planet colonizations are, first of all, far closer to us. This is, by the way, also why they hold off certain atmospheric things to prevent the people from seeing what is really out there, far closer than everyone thinks. But it is kind of a script, and I'm not the only one who says that it's like a computer script, which is put in the minds of the people, and in like a visualization going on and on and on with the traumatizing stuff and the projections, and that influences how you can look at things. So it's about seeing the bigger picture, and I hope I can be a part of this positive influence that people start to investigate, and especially innerly, and find out how by transforming the inner shadows, and that things could be far more different than what is being said for so many long time. And I hope that maybe to reach, next to, of course, to make it more approachable, that satanic rituals are a giant part and a giant role in what is happening now with the dark forces, that it tries to conquer humanity and to create more and more dark energies around, and they also try to reach inner earth. The inner earth, that's another story. The satanic rituals have not been there in the source of earth, in the core of the earth. That's what I know. So, and that is so important. That's important information, because these giant benevolent people in the center of the earth are taking care of that, and they are still so pure, really pure, connected to literally to the Creator and to God. So I will put off. I did not. All right, a new follower. I can, of course, put off the follower alert. I will hear that from maybe Barry or Miranda, if it's better to put off the follower alert. I'm not sure, because I honor every follower. So welcome everyone who... All right, so, okay. I will continue because to come back to all these ritualistic levels. I will go back to the 300 plus giant rituals. I did talk extendedly about this type of ritual already in an early live stream, and you can look it up on Twitch by the search and then type in the keyword satanic and ritual or giant ritual, and that counts for YouTube as well. I did a full live stream on only that satanic ritual. So again, I take it now in this live stream as well, because it is a giant part of why together again with the Vatican can create these portals. And it is so important that these portals diminish, that we get rid of these dark portals. And I will go into that more in depth after the break, when I talk about off-planet rituals, because that's a part of what I until now never have heard about or someone talk about. But as I said, I am not watching videos or reading books about these satanic details, because I don't want to get polluted, and I somehow protect myself for being triggered. So, hello, Tineke Jessie, welcome. Jos is going for a smoke. Well, happy smoke, Jos. So, this 300 plus ritual, of which were present the 300 elite of the world, and I was there in the shape of black. In my programming is a personality, as for example Rita about Black Widow, and my Black Widow personality was important in that because I had to then let enter the S energy through my body. Yeah, I will put off the follower alert. Yeah. Okay, so. All right. So with this Black Widow altar, then I had to let in the S energy through my body, and that that enhanced my psychic abilities. And I know that people saw sometimes my eyes change in black or full red, and that is possible, by the way, that pupils and eyes are changing. I saw last week. I saw a video, a very good example on Lickabout, which is, by the way, a great independent platform, and in which you can express freedom of speech. And there I saw a video of which you saw again split eyes, and you could really see these eye shapes change. That was not disformed by techniques or by these, how do you say that? Artificial intelligence, etc. CGI. No, that was real. And I know it's real because it does exist. And I think that what I was talking about, that script, the dark script, which is trying more and more now to force through these creators, the godly script, and Earth, which Earth is godly. And until now, I still see, by the way, in the center as symbol the heart, which represents the heart of love and God, the creator. So I get until now still acknowledge that energetically none of the heavy dark forces, nor S energy, nor L energy has entered the Earth's core. That's important. I promise to talk about off-planet experiences after the break, but this is for me important to connect. The moon was once a living light, and it was a different light than the sun. The sun is a portal. The moon was a light. This light has died out. I was in time travel projects with my psychic abilities and as Psy Black Ops, that I was involved in having seen and having experienced the moon die. Well, the moon is hollowed out. Maybe now you can connect why the moon has been hollowed out, because the black forces had entered the moon. The moon is, by the way, a different kind of object if I can say that, than Earth. Earth is far stronger in protecting the godly and the divine creation. But I love to connect that. Maybe it's an interesting point of view, and I only share what I experienced, what I know from my own experience, and I'm not saying it's the truth, it's my truth. It's what I experienced, and I do know that I did experience it, and it was not a dream. It was not being enhanced by drugs, because I talk about it a lot of times. Like with drugs, I cannot do black ops. I could not do any black operations because using drugs enhances, of course, the creative part in the brain. It lights up the brain parts, but you cannot control how you move, what your tactics are. And I was the commander of in my Delta team and a commander of more teams. So this is very important that I would stay clear in my head. So I like to point it out again, not to defend myself, but it's important that I express that it's not a fantasy. I experienced it for real, but that's my truth. That's my words. And Tineke Jessie, how are you feeling today? Well, I'm feeling great. In love. Sometimes it's hard to concentrate. Oh man. And then digging up new baby parts, which is now integrated. But you can rewatch Tineke Jessie. You can rewatch my live stream. I will look at the time and will grab a tea, zip. Cheers, everyone. I have my tea and it's now jasmine. And for the ones who are interested in that, it's jasmine tea and mint is in it, and ginger. I love ginger. And kamille, yeah. And yeah, that's it. And munt. Peppermint. Minty. So, these layers, what can I say more about these giant rituals? These giant rituals, I was with Nevada rituals. In the Nevada desert, there are underground bases. There's a whole network of underground bases, as well as in Mexico, South America. There are more important. Dulce is a famous underground base, but I was in Nevada desert. And there it could appear, even in the night sky, that it could appear when you would look below, that you would just see an open spot in the Nevada desert, or even some mountains, but that was a holographic shield. Holographic shields are already far ahead of when it was released on Earth and to humanity, by also the deep state and these black dark energies and the deep state. Well, you know who I know, the elite who serve the L and the S energy and the dark forces and the Black Sun society. Neo-fascism as well. Neo-fascism do honor S and L. And if they say no, then they are not really updated on that they actually serve L and S. So they have then a certain group when they are neo-Nazism and they say, we don't serve L or S, well it is. Then they are put in an invisible lower structure of the pyramid shape, which is often used in many parts of the sections of what I'm talking about for tonight. So the desert ritual, and with such giant mass of people all together, well, you need, of course, an incredible large space. Of these, what I experienced in the Nevada desert with these 300 plus, the giant ritual mass satanic rituals, I also I always was forced to take part of it. also off planet, and I will talk about it after the break because I think it's also an interesting subject, I believe. These giant ritual had like a theater, like with smoke, everything, like theater lights, decor, props, everything. Often, by the way, the pillars, a large, incredible sound system, and like also in the Bohemian Grove, where was a lot with rituals and satanic rituals, that there was a voice which I recognized from Hollywood. And he had a dark, deep voice, and I knew who it was. And at times it was someone else. Actually, when I was present in satanic rituals, I recognized two people, and they were always men, and they had low, very low, heavy voices, which were very pleasant to hear. And they were high-leveled magicians as well, and taking part of that. These theater shows in that satanic ritual with a 300+ were always went always together with a theater show on forehand, and often there were dancers with wearing the horns of the bull, which was then symbolizing, of course, the S energy. And they were, it was like a giant theater show. And then when the satanic ritual happened, also with the giant, with the 300+, it always was about that it ended up in that I was put at the cross or others were put at the cross. And often with these giant rituals, which were less often than, for example, the smaller ones, but they were so giant that I was in some of these giant rituals, and that around me, when I was put in the center, having that Satan through my body in black magic spell as Black Widow, and that then around me were crosses put around me, and not 1 or 2 or 10, no, several. I was in a ritual where there were over 200 crosses around me, and all were people hanging there, and they were drugged and in a trance, and they were serving S and L. And yeah, I cannot express how real this is, how real this happens, like the whole movie industry. I love movies, I love television series, if it's being created from the heart and soul and trying to get a message out of, making people happy and smile and emotional. I love that. But there is another part of it that movies show a lot of what is happening in satanic rituals. And until now, I did not see any movie which was presenting with these hundreds of crosses around, the me as Black Widow and Mother of Darkness. Yeah, I think that's maybe then getting too real. But I did not come across, by the way, a movie which was presenting it like that. But maybe you know a movie about it. I know one movie which was so close to what I experienced with all the demonology and what I saw happening. That was June. I don't know if you know that movie June, but a lot of what you see there is what I saw in the demonology happening in satanic rituals. So, it's already 8:45. What can I say more? So there are already 2 levels of satanic ritual, and after the break I will mention more about off-planet. An important part of these satanic rituals is that I talked about that young children were put on a wheel, and even if they were that tiny, that did not matter to the abusers. These even babies were put on the wheel, and and the wheel was, then they were put in the center of the wheel. I get a bit emotional. It should stop. We should all say no, but yeah, I can say that so often. That the arms and the legs of these tiny, even babies were spread on the wheel. And yeah, I'm just silent, you know. And I saw then also a bit older children, but I mean, what even young children like 5, 6 years old, 7 years old. And of all the children I was present at these rituals, all of them died. Yeah. So my prayers goes out to them, and my love. And I talk about this for love and for the truth, and that this will get out in the world, and that people start to see that it is happening. But it starts with saying no, and that we should unite and say no. And start to really embrace that this is true. It is true. It is happening. And I cannot force anyone to believe it. And believe is not even the real word, the right word, because the word believe is also being traumatized in me. So, yeah. And this is why the trafficking is happening. A lot of the majority of what I saw in this kanaal 1, 2, and 3, and a lot of times I met them, of course, again in these rituals, because I was taken so often. That is why I was hardly ever at school. That is why I was so pale. That is why the Dutch front mother, took me from school when I peed in my trousers, because I was so abused that I had my bladder and my urine my how you say that? Yeah, I forgot. Well, you know what I know. You know what I mean, that it was so harmed. And I did not even mention that another part, not only of which comes the urine out, but the other part of the body, that it was so damaged and so used and abused that often I could not sit down. And that's the first time that I say that. And that is why, I at school hit myself on the toilets, and I couldn't sit down. So, yeah, it's. But I feel so many spiritual. I see so many love, feel so many love. So yeah, it is. I know it is tough, but. I know that a lot of, by the way, the beings of these children I saw go to heaven, and heaven exists. There is a special heaven for children as well, and many of them I saw going upwards to heaven because angels were there with me, specifically Ishmael, the angel Michael, were a lot present with me. So I know that it's. Thank you so much, everyone. Yeah, it's good to talk about it sometimes. I will not do this heavy subject all the time in every live stream. You know that. So, and I also show a lot my light part, my light-hearted part. And I know I don't have to say that, but yeah, this it should stop. It should stop. And we should say no and become aware of how real this is. This is happening. This is not a movie. It is real. And that it has been kept away from out of sight is because I talked about it also last time. Like I was told, if you talk about it, then it's not about that they would kill me. No, they would tell, for example, someone I loved. Which I thought I loved, my loved ones. And when I was older, when I was a teenager and had my own children, this is why the programmers let me keep children. There's even one son of mine who is in the deep state black army, is in the underground cities, and he has been trained and he has an inner personality. When he gets the command, then he is commanded to kill me. And that is truth. That is happening. That is real. Yeah. And I know it sounds like a movie, and it's true. I wish it was a movie. Because I was here that's why I could stay inside for 20 years. And 10 of which 10 I stayed fully inside my residence with the dear friend here. And also with the help of an American man, he helped me deprogramming and also realize about how tiring it is for so long to get together as man and woman, and that just we fought too hard. We were tired, and it's all clear now to me that it is already. Yeah, he's a dear friend for me and an angel for forever. But yeah, it is. That is why I could do this to talk about this, and it should be able to talk about it. I had my dear guest Dana Durnford here last weekend, and he told me when I was talking beforehand and afterwards with him in a very nice talk, and then he said he knows that MKultra is real, and I shared with him, like, I sometimes just want to say more graphic details, but I'm afraid that people will turn off this live stream and will just cannot hear about it, cannot let it in because it's too horrific. And then he said something like, he said, yeah, but you should be able to talk about it. You should be able to talk about it. And then I thought, like, yeah, that is true too. And that did something to me. And especially for someone who has doing research for so long, not only about nuclear energy, but I know, I follow him for many, many years. And that he knows about a lot MKultra and targeted subject, targeted persons and MKultra. He knows about that. So it was an amazing meeting, and that inspired me, by the way, to love humanity even more and to share my story. And I hope it will be shared, because YouTube is really, I truly feel since the beginning of YouTube that I did these stories about my MKultra past, that it's being withhold from getting out there. So, and because Rumble is going very quickly with followers and views, so I can compare it to both of them. So it is for me very suspicious. But we go for a break, and I can take a breather. Oh. Yeah, I'm of course also curious if do you like the background in this way? I find it more cozy, more homey, because I'm doing this from my own living room, and the people here, I must honor them. You don't know them, but I live with 2 people here, and they are so awesome to let me do live stream twice a week here in the living room, and they have to sacrifice their space here. And now I have a projector screen behind me and closed curtains, and another. I found out something else to prevent the lighting from enter. So, yeah, a big hug for them, although they are keeping their identity private. But yeah. Just feel like that. Okay, we're going for a break because it's already 5 to 9. And again, big thanks for the moderators, Miranda and Barry. So grateful for that you're here. I think it's this one. So I'm taking my fresh tea. And let's do a break until 9:05. So max 10 minutes. All right? Oh, did I? Okay. Thanks, Barry. Did I mistype the words? Well, first pour my tea, and after the break, I will, of course, talk about off-planet, because off-planet there are also dark rituals and other rituals, and I love to talk about it because my black operations part is also opening up more. That's also, well, I won't say that it's so great, but it is great for my integration. So, and I feel that the former black op personalities in me are inside of me, integrating and trusting me as ego more and more. So, and I feel that helps me also to defend myself energetically and otherwise. I think maybe. Oh boy, I'm babbling too much, I know. You know who? Tomorrow I am going to open the time capsule I buried as a kid. I can't wait to see how big my puppy got. Well, okay, and on Rumble, anyone typing on Rumble? I see 18 watching. Hello, dear people on Rumble. If you like to join the chat, you are on screen. But I reserve the part of Rumble on the live screen, but there's appears no one to be typing. But you had that as well, Barry, if I seem to remember. Well, but it's not obliged to type anything in the chat, but I will check here for all my other channels. So then there is something in it. There's something in the chat. Flexibel, can you please dismiss the word lol? LOL. Is it LOL? It's blocking emote. All right. Well, maybe Barry, you know your way in that. Do you mean lol? Or L and then L? Oh, you know which one she means. Oh, it's that one. Oh, I know. That's an emote. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I understand. Unfortunately, oh, Barry already mentions that it's being misused. I'm so sorry, Flexibel. Maybe there are other nice emotes to pick. So, yeah, it's apparently, yeah, there are, my live streams attract people who use that awful word, which I think it does not belong in my live stream. So, sorry. Okay, I will take my tea, a sip of my tea. Oh boy. And again, I am live on Twitter. Twitter has a feature to go live, and I'm live on Twitter. Hello, Twitter people. Twitter friends. See no one watching on Twitter. So, and I have 225 followers, of which I believe the majority of them have muted me or something. I'm not sure, but Twitter is not growing. It's very interesting as well. Even now, since Mr. Elon, you know who, I think he has bought Twitter. I did not update myself on it. It's not handy to talk about it. I don't know for sure. Meine Güte. Delvertje, my mango tea is ready. Great. I will now also scroll through the chat. And then in a few minutes I will continue. Wait. Man. Rumble chat. Yeah, I think I'd better close down the Rumble chat. Wait, I make the other chat bigger. Prism chat. So. Okay. So, I will now scroll through the chat for questions, and if there are people who had put questions earlier, then put them in the chat now again, please. Then I don't have to scroll, or at times even I skip a question, so there are blind spots then when I try to... Jos, you mentioned that 15 minutes ago, so I think already 20 minutes ago, there will soon be a major disaster for this reason. Yellowstone Park in the USA is a huge volcano and will become active again. Or the volcano for Italy, which is also a super volcano, so can erupt within a short period of time. Yeah, well, that's interesting, Jos, very interesting. And now I remember that that's only of recent, that on the west coast of a bit near to California, they have discovered a hole in the bottom of the ocean, several holes, and through it comes extremely hot water. So hotter than the ocean water is, and it is steamy water. And they are scared of that it will induce a kind of a tsunami or earthquake. I also know that the Yosemite Park, and I hope I pronounce it right, and where Bohemian Grove is, that it is for the elite and for the deep state a very important area, and that they always will prevent it from being attacked by earthquakes. But I don't know if you know that about it, but it's maybe breaking news, but it is discovered only recent, these holes on the bottom of the ocean, and that can be alarming to a pre-stage of that it could wake up that fault there as well and create earthquakes. So maybe it is connected to it, Jos. I'm not sure if you heard about it or someone else. I keep on. I will follow it, and I will ask also Dana if he's here again or when I talk to him. So that was one of the questions last Saturday of my many questions. So you hear my spoon? I put it away from the mic. You know about that too, Jos? And you see it, there are videos of it on YouTube, that you can see the flow and the animal and the ocean life. I mean, what does it to the ocean life there? I'm also a bit concerned for the influence on the ocean life, because it warms up the water. And then the whole ocean life changes. I can imagine. Even that maybe some species will there even go there or go live there, or the balance, what happens to the balance in the oceans. But yeah, I'm not a scientist, but it's just a feeling. I observe what I feel. Delftje, I regret not picking some fresh peppermint leaves when I saw them. That would be nice for tea too. Yeah, we have also mint in the garden. And the garden, most of you know who follow my live streams, we have put in the front garden, especially we have put a garden for vegetable garden. And it's growing. They're tiny little growth. So then we have slaw, cabbage, spinach, peppercorn. Peppercorn is very tiny. Tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, all biologic. So, well, I still want to go live, still with my mobile, and we'll show you very soon. But I'm so incredibly busy with everything. What's going on in my life? Ay, 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 caramba. And I was scrolling to see if there were more questions. The Yellowstone area is already about 30% increased, so nothing is being released about it, but it is true. 30% increased Yellowstone area. Yeah, that is very interesting area as well, that Yellowstone Park. I don't see any more questions. Clown's planet Earth is flat. Yeah, I understand. I understand. That is an experience as well. I can say a lot about that, but I want to do a live stream on it and another discussion, but I want to do a kind of round table or yeah, I'm busy with several ideas, so we'll let you know. Maybe interesting Clown's Planets, and maybe also to join then. Delvertje, great. I hope your garden will do really fine. Yes, well, it's growing, and but I was shocked by how expensive seeds are, vegetable seeds. I did not know that, but yeah, I'm so long out of not a real life, but out of society. That's what I do notice. Also, even in the deprogramming and getting more into the world, that I bump still into things which I did not know or was not aware of. But the biological seeds are pretty expensive. Like with the cherry tomato plants, I checked the bag and there were only a couple of them in my hand palm. So it's very interesting how expensive that has become. And maybe it is because of its organic biologically. A mango team comes by again. It sounds nice too. Fruit tea is nice. Bio milk, is that good? Well, it's better than normal milk or normal milk. The mediocre milk, yeah, raw milk is healthy, and it depends on how your physical body respond on milk. Some respond well, and others are allergic to it, and that is because the DNA is so different in everyone. It is a whole collection of alien DNA as well. Yeah, it depends. Jos, already another cappuccino. Tineke Jessie, I see your question. Yeah, I know your heart is so with what has been going on for last couple of 3-4 years. And you know what I mean, and that is as a subject, for me, too vulnerable to talk about it because of the toss. And I don't know if it's still the case, but as many of you know, I was with experiments with a certain man in the world who was really helping put it into the world in I cannot mention his name, but I did experiments for him, amongst others in Africa and Sierra Leone. So there is a lot going on, but I will avoid that subject for now, Tineke Jessie. I hope you understand. Maybe there still will be one day kind of private meeting with an app like Jitsi or Restream, or I'm still figuring out and trying out some apps which are great for meetings, kind of conference meetings. So All right, it's 9:10. I think I will continue. And I still did not have really drank my tea. Yes, I will say that in the chat because look at Krakatop, the volcano that has sunk into the Indian Ocean. So the fish will move away from there. Yeah, but there is a lot of movement, and Earth is a living being. So, and Earth knows, by the way, with natural things which happens on Earth and in the surface layers and the several layers in and around Earth knows environmental to cope with, but it is the heavy stuff of the dark forces and the deep state which makes it so hard for Earth to recover. And thanks so much for also replying to each other. It's nice to see, everyone has knowledge. That's so beautiful. Okay, I will continue. So the satanic rituals. First of all, I like to mention that in the intro of this live stream, I talked about the heavy stuff I have dealt with, and I'm still digesting it. I'm very surprised that I can do this live stream, but it is. I truly realize again and again and again how love is important. So letting love in, and not only in the heart, because I always had a kind of the word love was for me not always clear, because I also in my front life, for example, I always loved people. I loved Jesus. I loved God. I prayed a lot to the Holy Mary, and just not. I was never a saint, a holy saint in the person in the front life, but I was really loving people and wanting to heal people and help people. That's why I became a piano teacher and a conductor of so many choirs, because I love talking. Not at all. But I love, that bridge of love. That's actually what's underneath it. But I only, since actually from half of February, then for sure I started to realize this is real love, because also the love entered in me via a man, and then from within feeling love. But I always thought that love was only if you spread love from the heart, then that's enough. But it is far broader. Well, the word love, why do I say that? Because love, there is a movie, by the way, and it has the title Love, and it is a horror movie. It is an awful. You see there all the symbolism of the deep state and the dark forces as well. For anyone who is into movies and like to see that, maybe you don't know that movie. It's already maybe from the 90s or 2000. I'm not sure, but it's an interesting movie for sure. But you have to have a bit of strong. You have to really be harnessed to see some horrific things. So that word love is of course also being polluted in my system and in my former MKultra. Well, I described, but that's what I wanted to say, how horrific this trauma is of this new giant baby in me, who's now integrating and now in my core above me and fully getting to know me as ego, as Monique in the here and now. And she is has the trauma of what I mentioned, of being in a group and that I was only almost crushed with my chest. A lot of times when I was deprogramming, even without knowing that I was MKultra, that was between 2000 and 2010, and that I often woke up in the middle of the night, and that I felt I could not breathe. And then it was as if my chest bone was crushed. And I often had even the feeling like do I have now a heart attack or something? I really was scared of that. And then my friend guided me here. And even in the middle of the night, and I knocked on her door, or at times I crawled through the upper stairs, the upper floor to her bedroom, and even crawling literally on my knees, and then go to her door and knock. And I really had angelic help that I could do that. And then she helped me back on my feet, literally, and back in my body again, that it was a reliving. But that being crushed in between these group sessions, and I call it sessions, but maybe the orgies is the better word. But for orgies, I get the feeling it almost sounds like fun or whatever, but it is like, maybe you know these paintings of Jeroen Bos. Well, that's what I've seen, and also off-planet rituals, and this is why I mention it, to go in extended details what I had to experience. And even when I was very little, that I saw other victims being crushed literally under the weight of all these men and women who were doing it with each other, so had sexual intercourse. And man with women, doesn't matter, it was all going across, it crossed each other, the sexes, etc. And that then these children were crushed, and that many of these children did not survive and were so crushed that they were suffocated. And then even after suffocating, and that's the tough subject I talked about many live streams ago that I cannot dare touch upon, but because I feel so safe also with the great moderators here, that is a subject which is also happening a lot, and part of this trafficking, why these people of the S and the elite and neo-Nazism need these children, because the suffocation especially is also a beloved subject in the rituals, but especially when, for example, one of these children or girls or boys have died, then often after they died, then their bodies were also sexually abused. This is one of the most, I say it a lot, I think everything almost what I experienced is too horrific. And this is, I cannot explain I cannot explain how awful it is to experience that. And I myself also was forced, yes. And then you know what I mean. This is part of satanic rituals. This is in every satanic ritual of the ones I was present with. So then you have an idea that it's all about, sexual abusing, the sexual energy, which is connected to the Kundalini energy. And I saw a lot in these activities, I will call it like that, in these rituals, satanic rituals, that, for example, when they were moving together as group and then doing their intercourse and exchange and sexually abusing me and the other children and teenagers, everything was one. It is literally like a painting on Jeroen Bos. But I saw as well with my psychic abilities, but people physically changed, that I saw, for example, a tongue, that it was extremely long, like a reptilian tongue can be. Or these slit eyes, or the dark eyes, the shape-shifting, as which is a popular word. I did see it, and I could touch them. So, and other times I saw tails coming out, that the body changed in... that it's not like the skin, that the skin could be often, the majority of them were, by the way, all as well of the how do you say that, Caucasian race. So I hardly ever really saw that there were with darker skinned people, because that was from neo-fascism and for the deep state. It's not done to have a different color, too dark skinned color. So that's an item I did not touch upon yet either, but it's a hugely theme. And for me, everyone is unique and beautiful. So, but you know that. So that what was I want? What did I wanted to say? That the skin then changed into more rough pores, and that it changed into more, I would say more grayish skin, grayish pores, and very rough. And that then I saw also a tail become visible. So it was literally like a Jeroen Bos painting. Now, to make that bridge to off-planet rituals, I've been off-planet as well to what I described in a Nevada desert, that I experienced this 300 plus, and I said earlier, these 300 plus needed all to be present. For example, I can imagine someone already maybe had that question inside of their heads, like in their minds, like, but what if one of these 300 plus on the way, for example, in this giant limousine or through the underground tube lines is leaving the body? Well, many of them, if that happened, and that did happen, then this body was actually obliged to come along. So then it would still be present in that ritual. And of course, if it would be far way ahead, then it would have been replaced with a family member. And often, by the way, not often, but when it happened, then when someone of these 300 plus was then for a while deceased, then it would be replaced by a baby from that bloodline, and that baby was on forehand already chosen. And then if that baby, it sounds weird, but I really saw that. So it's my own experience, and that baby, as tiny as that baby was, had the same. The 300 plus elite have all their own jewelry, their own signs to wear. So a ring, like a seal ring, like their robes, and the typical velvet robes, and their ornaments which they wear, and also will show their what level they are. And that baby, I saw, it could almost sound a bit cute, but that baby wore that typical jewelry and even the robe of that elite which was deceased, and it looked very almost funny. But that is maybe an interesting detail what I've come across. Well, these off-planet rituals, I was there in these kind of rituals, and they were not that often. But for example, on Mars, like Mars, the atmosphere is hard to explain. Like as human, you cannot breathe on Mars, on the surface. There are Mars who are coming from Mars originally, who live there, and they can breathe. They can walk on the surface, but humanity cannot be at the surface of Mars. So everything was underground. And I talked about it earlier, that in these bases where I was, and only where the human race was allowed, because a big part of Mars is not allowed for humans. And that is a very ancient already rule. And there are borders, strict borders. So the humanity also did not touch upon that, because then there would be a giant war with the Martians. The Martians, maybe I will do a live stream on that as well, because there's a lot to talk about the original Martians. But I will leave that for now, because I'm talking about the rituals there in Mars. That was an underground base. And when these 300 plus were there, then how did they travel to Mars? Well, there are several ways of traveling to Mars. These 300 plus all had to sign an NDA, I think it's called, a not disclose agreement. And they sign it with their BLOOD and their souls. So their soul already had been to serve the L and S energy. There are portals of which these elite 300 plus can go. I talked about it earlier. There are several ways of portals. There are several ways of traveling through the universe and to other colonizations or to Mars. This way, how they traveled was through, I call it almost like these sky metros. Oh man, how you say that? Like in the Alps, you have these sky trails. I again did not look it up, but you know what I mean? With that there's a wire from, let's say, from the top of the mountain, a cable, and then going downwards to another station at the surface, down at the surface. A cable train, or how do you call that? I promise I will look it up next time. I feel ashamed. Maybe you see my red cheeks of it. I'm blushing of it, that I still don't know the word. And otherwise I will know the word. And now I'm doing this live stream and I'm not. And that through this cable train... Yeah, it is roughly described, and of which these 300 plus traveled. So there are limits to who can travel in a certain way and by certain means. And these 300 plus were all already ingewijd, how you say that, being enhanced to also be capable of traveling to Mars. That's why they were called the 300 plus. So they were the top elite of the dark world. Cable elevator, cable car. Yeah, oh, thanks so much, Yvonne and Jos. Jos, the blood changes a bit because of the endolines that the frightened children have. Yeah, the blood changes. Yeah, oh, that's still about, yeah, that's true. And there is that's that other subject, but it's there's a strange obsession with death, worshipping death. It's awful, but that's So on Mars, and that was then underground, and these 300 plus. And by the way, one of these 300 plus people was the former president of the USA, amongst others, many others. And he was the last one I was working for. In my programming, I was forced to. I never wanted to. And that was in 2010. So then you have maybe an idea who that was. And he was already trained to go to Mars already when he was a younger man. And I did see of this specific president, by the way, when he was younger, I did see some clones of him. But what I was told was that his cloning was not used yet, really. So, yeah. I know from others that they were used, kind of cloning. Cloning techniques do exist, but they still have faults. With faults, mistakes and errors in the programming in a clone like that. So someone who has been cloned cannot be there for too long because there are too many mistakes. Well, I talked about it already, also earlier. That's another subject which I love to talk about another time. By the way, I forgot totally to check on my English YouTube because my English YouTube chat is not on screen chat, I think. I did not. No one there. Let me see. I will test. I'm really curious if my English YouTube is also on screen. Wait. Hello, Eliza John Ogle. Welcome. I hope I pronounce your name well enough. Welcome here. Okay, so no one is chatting on. I'm the only one who's watching, so. Oh, No, that's fine. I will keep it up there. Okay, so this, I noticed, by the way, apologize, that my throat chakra is responding. I've already shared a lot, of course. So this Mars, where that 300 plus ritual was, actually these dark rituals resemble a lot what I've witnessed and when I was present on Earth. And that's why I talk about it, because it's not only on Earth happening. There are other colonizations of which satanic rituals are present. I also was there at rituals, for example, on the moon, and that was, I have to say, more underneath the surface of the moon in certain bases. And why is that? Because the deep state, and especially the dark the black magic of it, it needs to be fed with black magic. So if for example, the portals, this is why still portals are being opened, but if it also can be opened on other colonizations and in other dimensions, then they can increase their power. And it is about if it decreases, so if we say no to these satanic rituals and to the people who serve this S and L energy, then that is a way that the portals will close. Because the beautiful thing about especially also Earth is that it can recover. It can recover. Because that core is still whole, is still the creator's origin. So it can again retrieve, like the core of every human being, like in my case with my mind control and MKultra, like my core has been split up in fragments, but I retrieve the core by again, that it's again becoming whole again. And that is why it is so important to know that also outside the Earth these things are happening. And if it stops, and not all at the same time, well, I wish that, of course, that's a big wish. But that when it decreases, when it stops, then gradually the power elite of serving this black sun elite and L and energy, S energy, then their grip on humanity will get less. And then Earth can have more space to recover. So, and this is again why it's being hidden from humanity and from people like us to what's really going on, because then we cannot grasp the power and then center ourselves as we can even radiate to outside the Earth, to other colonizations and other planets and to the sun and again let recover the whole system there. And that's actually why I hope more and more people say no, because it will have a certain impact, for sure. Rituals, there were not only, by the way, the satanic rituals I came across on other colonizations and off-planet, very, very bizarre rituals as well, of which I still I still do not know for what purpose, but I do know that it was for serving this black sun elite and L and S energy. For example, there are reptilian species who serve their god, and that god has also a name, which is starting with a P, and I'm not mentioning his whole name, because then I get a whole demonic and energetic attack towards me, and I'm not waiting for that, of course. But there is the Dutch word for peanut in it, and then an R behind it. And this one has a big part in off-planet rituals as well. For example, I was in a ritual of which he was also present next to the dark satanic ritual, as well as on Earth, as well off-planet. And that there were, they had the size of buns, bread buns. And these bread buns were light, were of light, of white energy. It's like I held some TL lights, but then very small ultraviolet lights, and that they were very white, and that I had to hold them like this. And everyone who was present at that ritual had to hold it. And the ritualistic room was not a pentagram shape, but an octagram. An octagram is 8-sided room. And they had to sew 8 walls, and these 8 walls were all closed. So when we were inside, then in front of every wall there was standing one person. And there was one who was the leader of the ritual, and I was on the other side of that room, also against a wall, and holding these weird, strange, floating things, like I was holding a rail or something. It was a cold energy, and this energy was flowing through my fingers, and especially my fingertips, and it did something to my nerve ends in my fingers. And it created with the other attendees, which were then 6, because we were in total with 8, and that created an octagram, but an octagram which was 4-dimensional, 5-6 dimensional. It was even more intense than in a 3D movie. If you're in a 3D movie or in a holographic game room, which with these holographic, how do you call that? These devices on your head. And what happened then was that it was like traveling through space and then traveling, and then I was stumbling, and we were just still standing, but it was like this whole octagram, that it was not making me feel dizzy, and it was bumping to all kinds of the universe and to space, through space. And the meaning of this ritual was actually to create spores, which was a trail behind this octagram, and then the leader, which called himself as well Seal Master, and I recognized him as well as a person on Earth. I know who it is, but I will not give any clues of who that is. It was a man, and that these spores were then causing a trail in space and in the universe, in the hopes that that would capture good organic bacteria in space and the universe, because there are bacteria floating in space. Next to that, the stars are living organisms and beings, and if a star dies, then another one is being born. And I believe there is a certain legend about it, or is it a fairy tale? I'm not sure, but that for every star which dies, another one is being born. And I believe this is why maybe the expression comes from wishing upon a star, or that when you see a star go by in the sky, nighttime, that you can then do a wish, falling star. But it might be. I'm presuming it is. It's originating from that. Well, these spores. That they would eat these benevolent bacteria in space and the universe. These bacteria in space and the universe, many of the people think that the space or universe is like water, and it has the appearance, it can have the appearance of water, because if the certain spots on the firmament have if you bump into a certain ceiling of firmament, then it feels like you're hitting a kind of membrane, and that it feels like you push against a kind of water sack. But it's not water, I can tell you, it's not water. It could feel as water, but it's not water. It's of a substance which the bacteria and the stars keep space and universe all balanced and together, and it feeds each other. It's in that way comparable to, for example, ocean life. When ocean life is out of balance, then the whole cycle of life is out of balance. But as always, if it's the creator's ocean life and oceans, then it will recover. So the spores, which was in that octogram, which was tumbling through space, universe. I wish I could show you a movie. I should make a movie one day. And that these spores would eat and these benevolent bacteria, and to create in this way this balance of the universe and space. And this is one of the reasons, part of that the moon could be moved, and that the moon as a very special light has died as moon. And there are other moons who have this light, but that's also being kept away from humanity. There are still original moon lights, even close to Earth. And that's what I've seen, and it's beautiful. It is so beautiful. The other sun on Earth is so beautiful. That's all being kept from us. And yeah, that's I love to share that as well, because it was pretty hard subject what I shared with these satanic rituals, and this is what I experienced all in space and the universe, and it's a miracle. It's God's miracle, and it's the Creator's miracle, and we own that as well. If we say we own this knowledge, then you start to remember. That's the start of remembering. That's what I believe. That's my opinion. And I experienced it, and I know that my voice is reflecting and like ripples in the water to all sides of Earth and around the Earth and in space and universe. And if you believe that, then you are that, and you can resonate that far to the edges of universe, and you can resonate the truth out, what is for you, and it will be relieved what is for you then the truth. And it's a beautiful mechanism, and that's the creation, that's the secret of the creation. And this is why Earth has to be small, has to be a small sized Earth, because that's what I do know or have experienced, that Earth is far bigger than it's being shown. Yeah. This it's very interesting all. Hello, can't stop the meme. Hello. Is it a YouTube link to an interesting link? Welcome in the chat on Rumble. I will check it later. So thanks. And welcome. So, yeah, are there questions, by the way? Because I love talking about space, and my black ops is more remembering, and I feel it is more integrating. So, and it feels very natural and great as well. Maybe my physique will also want to express that, that like... more, I am exercising already a lot and walking a lot in nature and outside, but I hope maybe the training will come back as well. I love to. Well, I will all keep you updated in that case. Yes, so that means that our DNA is unique from each person. It is, and I heard someone talk recently in a YouTube video about that the majority part of DNA is junk. It's not junk. I'm sorry, it's my throat is responding. The DNA is a remarkable thing, and what you see in the DNA is like that. It's like a staircase. Like this staircase in a spiral staircase. And the spirals are holy, very divine, creative creations of God and the Creator. And that DNA staircase is unique and built, very beautifully built. And by the way, if it's being, for example, trying in experiments, which I sadly enough also experienced and witnessed, that with the DNA has been scrambled and so on, and just that is why I think even cloning cannot come to perfection, because it cannot DNA every specific. Everything is unique. So Earth is unique, Mars is unique, the sun is unique, the moon, even when the moon is dead now, it's unique. And if you start to realize that I am unique, you are unique, even a particle, it's all unique. If it's just my babbling, my enthusiastically babbling, that it is unique. And if everything is unique, then also everything can be together. So maybe think about that. Let it in. Telvertje, is space and all the planets within our firmament or outside? Is space and all the planets within our firmament or outside? Yeah, that's interesting. It's about, I talked about that there is a depth. There are several depths in and layers you can experience Earth and the planets and the firmament. And the firmament is being, I see no telvertje, mo unique. Ja. En telvertje also, yo unique. Ja. Oh gosh. And Jos, every building block in life is unique. Exactly. And we can jump into a lot of things like with the firmament, like in the biblical descriptions, is the firmament like you see, indeed, that you see the earth's surface flat. You see even underneath, also I saw drawings and maps of which underneath there is a layer where giants lived as well, and there are ancient machines. And I know that underneath Bohemian Grove is a layer of which I saw the ancient machines, and that's a holy space for the deep state. So I don't think that they will try to create an earthquake in the neighborhood there. But that's my opinion. That's also, of course, an interesting side to look at, like all the investment of the elite and S and L energy and all these 300 plus. Why should they want to destroy their holy places? Or they will destroy it and then have the plan to leave Earth for always. And I don't see come an earthquake there in the neighborhood again because of that reason. But maybe I'm also being, I don't know, maybe I'm also being distracted or misinformed. I'm not sure. And to come back to the firmament, so this firmament, I've seen so many versions, also on maps in the Vatican, the catacombs underneath the Vatican, so many maps of also hidden lands, so that you see, I recognize, for example, Australia, and that other countries which are shown on our world map are far bigger, and others are smaller than actually is being told. And that's interesting too. And what about the firmament? The firmament I see as the creation of God, that the edge of the firmament is what I've witnessed and what I've seen as well, that the sun is a giant part in it as a portal to be able to go outside the firmament. And in the firmament, underneath the firmament, are also the star bodies and there was a lot of life there, but also outside. So, greetings to Arkansas. Hello, Eliza John. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining there. So you're on my English page. Well, everything starts with a small beginning and then it grows steadily. I always put energy in that organic growth and my passion for freedom and to talk about who I am. That's the only thing, and I know that was always my mission from when I was already 6 years old, I knew my mission. And that sounds holy, but I'm not holy at all. I am imperfect as well. But it's so nice that you are in the chat there. Welcome. And I did not get a no. Maybe I hope you just subscribed, or otherwise I did not get a notification. But to everyone, please subscribe to support my channels, and likes is really helping, and comments. It's a fact that it helps getting me more visible on YouTube, especially because YouTube is really not open to MKultra, not my MKultra, and I don't know why, because I see other former MKultras and former Monarch mind controls, and they have 3,000-4,000 even more followers and subscribers, and I'm grateful with who are there. So. And I'm not worried it will grow, but every one time in a live stream I'm asking to subscribe, like, share. I'm very grateful for that. And by the way, for who comments and writes me or in the chat, I always, on every channel I live stream, I always check afterwards the comments. So I still can. Because I get more and more busy, but I do my best. So I think I will make a bridge because my head starts to feel tired. So maybe some questions. But yeah, to come back to what happened more in that octagram, which was tumbling through space and leaving these spores who attacked the benevolent bacteria. Yeah, that was, for me, still the experience, what I remembered. And afterwards, I remember I was back in a military base underground, and that was in the USA. Near Houston. And I wanted to talk about the transition. I forgot to talk about the transition and the attendees. And I think I will do part 2 next time. I will for sure do a live stream too, and then talk about more the levels of, and specifically the attendees. Who were the attendees there? I will grab myself some orange juice. Oh. Yeah, I thought someone was entering here. So maybe there was someone entering. A ghost. I'm kidding. And then if there is a ghost here in the house, then it's allowed. So then he or she is allowed. No one else can enter here. Yes, the past is violently distorted. That is why it is not made. Oh, you responded to the Vatican. And yes, the Vatican is hiding a lot. And the Vatican is, I should say, the most important, basic portal to influence the other portals and other parts of this world, of the earth, and is in contact, by the way, with as well off-planet parts, planets' colonizations. And I'm not even talking about pyramids, but that also knows everyone that there are copies of pyramids in other colonizations. And yeah, I've seen that in Egypt, for example, the pyramid had the top part of the pyramid, and that it was a mirrored one as well. So mirrored pyramid above it, and it has been loosened from that giant, most important pyramid, and it has not yet come back. And actually, that Egyptian pyramid is still waiting for that it can be whole again, and that reversed pyramid can be put on top of it again. All interesting subjects, but totally different than satanic rituals. But I feel in my energy, I got the hiccups. I'm sorry. And Yvonne, take a zip. Yeah, I'm taking a zip, Yvonne. Thank you. I understand why all these live streamers forget to hydrate. Why they have often such huge water bottles with them in the live stream. I get that now. I never thought I would say that, but I forget to drink. Hello, thank you for the follow. Just someone. Welcome. Thank you for the follow. And I crossed the 230 followers, but that always changes. But I reached my goal. Wow. Did I see that well enough? 233 followers. I should change my goal. Wow. I will change my goal to 250 followers. Wow. Subscribers on Twitch. Thank you so much. Can you do a backflip? I don't know where that question comes from. Flexibel says, can you? I love your humor. Yvonne Groot, party time. Yeah, let's go into more light-hearted modus. And but I'm always love to ask questions, answer questions about space and universe. But I also feel a bit withheld from that, because it's my black ops personality is more and more surfacing, but I know a lot more, and maybe I need the rest of my lifetime to get more to the surface of these memories, but the live streaming helps. So, and I like, that I like interactive chatting with you all. And I don't, and I cannot do the backflip now. Oh gosh. I keep on wanting to look over my shoulder, like there's someone entered the door. It's funny that it keeps that I have that feeling all the time. And on YouTube, also 7 people watching. Welcome on my other YouTube channel. So, yeah. Jos, your aura has grown. Have you been in the 6th dimension? Oh, yeah, well, I've been everywhere, but I know what you mean, Jos. But I'm now getting more myself. I'm growing in remembering, and remembering is growing. Eh? That's what is being withheld, trying to being withheld from, that we don't get to know, around the earth and what's really going on there. But thanks for the compliment, Jos. Yvonne, they also use holograms, masks, and green screens. Yeah, they do. That too. Yeah. And you probably also heard about these trumpet sounds. For example, in Russia, I believe, I saw videos of that, and I hear that sound, like the trumpets. Like many people say that it is about these trumpet sounds, that it is that it announces evil, that it announces you see, I'm getting tired, that it announces the end of the world. Like, I think was it in the Old Testament or in the New Testament, that the trumpet sounds for a new Armageddon or something. What I heard and felt with that sound is what I recognized, that the peal around the earth, the protection peel has been trying to being hit by the dark black forces. That it's like rubbing or like a car crashing in, if you know what I mean. That's what I felt, but maybe I'm wrong. I'm not saying that I have the truth. I keep on repeating that. I'm just telling my story and my experiences. And I see now YouTube stream health is excellent, so I get acknowledged. Monique, you're healthy. But I'm still having my cold and my throat ache, and I'm still not better. So it's already for many weeks that I have a cold. It's yeah, but yes, this is described in the Old Testament. Yeah, exactly. Thanks for acknowledging it. And Jos says, yes, I see it. Yeah. Robster1, you know Michael Jaco. Ah, yeah, I know them. Yeah, I know him. Yeah, I know him. Yeah. He's pretty well known in the world. Yeah, I watch many times YouTube videos, but many times not lately, but in earlier years when I was not live streaming, and specifically the ones who were former Navy SEALs or. Yeah, he's a great. Yeah. But I must say, I must acknowledge that I'm not watching hardly any YouTube videos any longer. I'm too busy with everything in life, what's happening in my life, and it drains energy, but it's great, of course. I'm glad I'm busy, and I'm getting more busy because I'm with my mobile, going more outside. It did not happen this week, but maybe this week when the weather is a bit better, because I found it cold today, even despite the sun was there. But I found it very chilly as well when the sun was gone. But that's here in the Netherlands. It was chilly day. Besides that, the sun was shining. That happens too, huh? Oh, Miranda, I now only see your message in the mod, in the messenger. But it was 2 hours ago, so don't worry. But I apologize that I did not check that. And Jos is going for a smoke. And you like watching him, Robstar1, Michael Jaco? Does anyone know him, Michael Jaco? He's certainly worth watching. He has interesting stuff. And I like people who are former army. I always did. And now I understand why, of course, since I now remember my past. Yeah, he's pretty well known. Indeed. Robstar1, he's on Rumble now. Ah, right. He's live. All right. Yeah. I think, yeah, maybe, yeah, it's nice interacting with you, of course, in the chat, but I start to feel my energy drop. Hello, Ruby Adam on Rumble. Welcome in the chat. Did I hear you say that the Vatican is behind all this? Well, all this, they're a giant center, yeah, of it and influence, yeah. And they help create portals. And for example, what happened with certain twin towers in the USA, Vatican was a big part of it, and to also even that the Vatican could enhance their powers. And the Vatican also still tries to find out, to grasp what is the Holy Grail and the Ark. the Ark of Covenant. Eliza John, are you Rh negative? Well, I did not. I haven't been to a physician for so long. I would not know. I'm sorry, I would not know. But I plan on. The people who follow me for a long time know that I one day want to see how my brain looks like, but then in a safe way, that I'm not getting any radiation, and of course that it's safe. And I really want to know more about, the physical. I still don't know if I have physical residue from heart damaging, etc., and the heart tortures and the lungs. I'm not sure. And I hope to find out. But if I find out, sometimes I have the feeling like I would be in for a kind of documentary and then find out, because then there is some proof. And for me, it's fine if people would see that, the results, because I myself want to know. I really also love to know and to get acknowledged if my DNA, my genes are indeed of Queen E and a mixture of this little man with a black moustache, because that's what's being told to me. And I've seen things and documents, but yeah, deception, maybe it's deception, I'm not sure. Oh, thank you so much, Eliza John. Thank you so much. Sputniki, O plus. O positive. Yeah, do you all know you don't have to mention that in the chat, because I think it can be private, of course, and I honor that very, very, very much. But do you all know what your blood group is? Blood. And I don't know. But yeah, my medical documents were always put away from me. So now everyone starts to mention their blood type. And yeah, I would love to let it examine maybe one day. I hope so, because then I can show you and in real time that you can go along with my adventure. But I had several scenarios of what would be great, maybe also as proof. Ruby Adam, what about the Protestant churches? Oh, some are in it, some are not in it, but that's with every religion. Many people think that the Catholic churches are involved only, but in all religions are people involved, and I believe the majority are not involved, but it's always a small group in percentage in comparison to the other. To the bigger group, but the image which is shown, and that's sometimes also being steered at, that a certain group is being highlighted. So yeah, but it's not specific Protestant churches, or you have so many here in the Netherlands and in Europe for sure. So many. Oh, we have so many branches of religions, of Protestants and. Lutheran churches, Advent of the 7 days, I believe it is, Judah, all that kind of things. Eliza, I have listened for a while, love your healing. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, great to have you here and in the chat. Soon many will join. I truly believe that, and that's my hopes, of course, that we will grow and grow and grow as a community. Yeah. And it's now 10:10. Nah. And I always have to quit max 10:30 p.m. because I have to. I'm using a part of the living room. Well, if you see my background. And I almost used the whole living room. But I like the depth in the room, by the way. I like it. I like it more than seeing a wall behind me. I'm curious what you will think of the background. Because sometimes I think I should change it, so that we change back to turning it around, and then you see my face, of course. But the other way around, so if I turn 180 degrees, then I have a wall behind me. And I like that situation as well for my studio. But my keyboards are so nice here, my electric piano. But yeah, those are few things I'm trying out to get a nice background, which is nice to look at. Sputniki, the background is awesome. Yvonne, a nice background. Oh, thanks so much. Yeah, I'm growing. I'm growing with getting to know more about lighting, and yeah, it's a whole adventure. I do see when I move that it changes with the light. I put that away. I don't think this is better. No. Oh, what if I do this? Oh, that's really dark. I forgot to put on my ring light. That's also... Wait. And my ring light is not working. Well, I leave it. It's almost finished, the live stream. So, well, maybe it's also good to go to a closure. I'm tired. I feel my eyes, tired eyes. Yvonne, I like the purple and blue with the flowers part. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I like it too. Delvertje, this is more cozy, but the wall is more restful, so that is nice too. Yeah, I know what you mean. And for example, I see that black screen behind me, and maybe I will turn it around and that it will be white. But then it could be too bright. That rhymes. Tineke Jessie, take all your time, Monique. Yeah, I am. So, I think I will head for a closure. Unless I see things in the chat, and I say a lot. The bottle is full. Like I visualized in a bottle of how my energy is doing, and then my head is full and everything is full up to here. But it's nice this after a bit cooling down from all the heavy stuff. And there is more details, by the way, about satanic rituals, but this is already the graphic details. I think I never ever mentioned that many graphic details in a live stream. So I think I also respond on that. Telvertje, you could rate Luna Keller again. Yeah, I follow now so many people, I forget. That was with music, wasn't it? I will look at some channels for rating. I also like, by the way, new channels. So if anyone has a suggestion for a nice rate channel, which is new. Yvonne, did they have the ring on the pink? Well, a lot of them had 2 rings. So the seal ringer, but a lot of them have, yeah, the pink, the little finger, yeah. Oh, Eliza John, really? Well, thank you so much. Yeah, I moved. Delvertje, she just went offline. Okay. Have you seen a vision the last few days that I have in print? Um, I let that sink in, Jos, because I was busy with my inner process and so on. Well, a busy life, but I will let that soak in. It's another level I noticed, but it's great. I will let you know. We message Laia K. Yeah, Liz K is also great. Very, very beautiful people as well. But I should just decide because I have Crazy Town, Crazy Ton, Mr. Paul, Nicole Bellafante. She's very, very, yeah, how should you say that? Unique. Now, we will do Liz K TV, and meanwhile, I will put in that rate, and everyone, yeah, come along because it's beautiful music. They're sweet people, very sweet people, kind people. And another thanks to Barry Henderson and Miranda, or in other words, I'm so tired that I cannot even pronounce the word. Miss Vanity. I'm sorry, Miranda. And thanks so much for moderating and being there. Like, yeah, it's always appreciated, and you're also friends. So, yeah, I'm just happy, grateful. Right, Liz K. Oh, wait, I put it in the wrong way. Oh, gosh. Yeah, that's my tiredness. Here we go again. Oh, I'm tired. But it says enough about the intensity I was in. All right, everyone, come along. It's always mixed, like, come along with me for the raid. And at the same time, I honor everyone who likes to go for continuing their night, their afternoon from other countries. And see you next time. Love you all. And I'm very blessed with having you here. Okay, here we go. Bye, everyone.